And then he said, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills.
I can't catch a break, guys.
Yeah.
Get them the fuck away from me. I can't be around those guys.
People think, oh, well, cleaning your room, that's just a cliche. It's like, yeah, really, eh? Just go ahead and try it.
If people had any idea how powerful sleep is for healing from anything, and the fact that it's free.
My mind is absolutely bulletproof, solid as a rock.
Podcast. All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Fighting Fit Show. Today, it is myself and Chris on the podcast, and the topic of discussion will be how we help our clients achieve their health and fitness goals, and more importantly, why over 50% of our members have been with us for over 3 years, according to the latest poll we ran in our Facebook members group. So, Chris, welcome to the show. Anything you want to add before we get stuck into the meat and bones of this?
No, other than I think that through repetition and experience and iterations, I think you have come up with a really good system to help people as best you can and try and make this as foolproof a system as possible, which is really cool.
Yeah, the one thing that kind of makes me very confident in the program is knowing that anybody who just does 80% of what we tell them will get a world-class result, and we have got hundreds of examples of that over the last maybe 8-9 years. That people who just show up and do the things that we say they will 100% get great results, and we do also have a results guarantee or your money back policy. So let's kind of talk through really what we're going to talk through there. We're going to talk about the client journey and kind of why we have set it up in this way to be essentially proactive and make sure that, let's say, nobody falls through the cracks, and there's hopefully an abundance of communication. As I said, we don't always get it right. We're constantly iterating, constantly trying to tweak it to make it better. But what I would say is I'm pretty confident that we have got the best program that I'm aware of, at least within a 50-mile radius. I don't know anybody who puts as much effort into the program. Anybody else that has personalized workouts, weekly check-ins, weigh-ins, 2 coaching calls a week, a membership site, such a flexible timetable, good coaches, workout offers from 5:30 in the morning to 7 o'clock in the evening. Like, there's just so much to the program that anybody who needs help and support, there is really an abundance of help and support there. Personalized meal plans, all the stuff. And the app and stuff that tracks all the progress, keeps track of all the important data relating to a health and fitness journey, that kind of thing. But what I'll do is I'll start at the start, and then we'll kind of maybe take each point as we go. If I kind of forget any of these, you remind me, Chris. But the first point, and the reason that we start all new members off with a coaching call, or what we also call sometimes a no sweat intro, just an opportunity just to have a chat, see if what we do is going to be a good fit for you, is to do that, to see, can we actually help this person, and is this person bought into the way we want to do things? Because again, I feel like we're a great option for most people, but there is some people that just prefer maybe a more hands-off approach, to people that just maybe want to put their headphones in, go and do a workout and just kind of be left alone. And our program is not like that at all. It's more for people who want support, want structure, or just they want to be part of a community, build a relationship with a coach. And
just to drop, like, I have seen some people come in, just put their headphones in and get workouts done as well. Like, it's not like that's not an option. But
no,
it's not
like you can't, like, you can't wear earphones during a workout. Like, you have to be coached. You have to be open to being coached, essentially. That's kind of what I'm saying. If you kind of feel like you already know everything, we're not really going to be able to help you. But that's essentially what we do. So we establish your starting point, have a chat on the phone. Where are you now? What is your vision for the future? Where do you want to go? And then we can talk about how we can help you get there and explain the program so that people understand, what you're essentially signing up for here, or what you're kind of getting yourself into. I think that's an important part, where a lot of people just want to go online, they want to just hit buy now, they want to sign up to a program. And because we do things very differently, it's very important that everybody's on the same page before we start. I think that's a very, very, very important part of the program. And obviously maybe some people aren't that open to jumping on a phone call and things, and it might put some people away because I just want to find send me a message with all the information. I don't want to talk to anybody. A lot of people are like that in today's age. But we're like, no, we got to speak with you to see if we're going to be a good fit here, because what we do is very different. And we want to make sure you understand how it works, and we can answer your questions before you make a decision. Because if you're shopping on price, again, it's not cheap relative to typical gym membership. But what it is, and something I'm trying to maybe do a better job of communicating is, this is personal training on a budget. This is better than what 90% of personal trainers are offering their clients. But literally a fraction of the cost. So you want to train 5 days with any half decent personal trainer, even somebody's training in their shed or a community center, like you charge, 20 odd quid a session, want to train 3, 4, 5 days a week. Like we are a fraction
I hope so.
of that kind of cost. And to get all the stuff, the coaching calls, the unlimited support, all the bells and whistles that we offer, plus the benefit of the community. I think it's when you kind of join a community, group workouts I think are fantastic. I kind of feel like push yourself forward in a group.
Anyone who's trained in a team, that they know what that's like. Sure, if we were in the boxing club and everyone was in, all the A team was in, and everyone was training real hard, like there's a vibe to it, and especially in the evening sessions. So there's loads of times where there's like a few key lads that come in the evening. They're all like, let's say, blue, purple, or brown in their bands, and like those sessions just hit different. Like there's just a different level of intensity to it. Like if they're partnered up, there's a different level of challenge between them, and everyone pushes it way, way harder. And I think the community element can't be understated.
Yeah, no, that's very true. Because I do like just kind of think back to myself. Like if I was kind of short, I just kind of go in the train. I'll just do a wee light session, and then say it was always me and Cooney that were training together. And then all of a sudden, then we're doing it for a run, and then he's pushing me, and I don't want to come in second. I want to come in first, and then it turns into something. Then you have to kind of really kind of push yourself, even though maybe that wasn't your intention when you got in the door. And that's kind of something we talked about in previous podcasts. About lowering the barrier to entry and just kind of just get out the door. That's the hardest part, and then once you're in, you'll probably do a pretty decent session. It's just kind of getting out the door, and the thoughts of it is worse than the actual session. A quote would be, "We suffer more in imagination than we do in reality." Kind of so the thoughts of something is worse than what actually happens. So that's kind of the first step: establishing, okay, are we a good fit? Can we actually help you achieve your goal? Do you understand how this all works, and do you know what you're getting yourself signed up for? Because again, our whole thing is really why I feel like one of the reasons that we've been successful is because we make people commit. Like there's no half-ass. Like half-assing is not an option. It's like, are you committed to 3 sessions a week or not? And can you? It's like, and if you can't, it's like, oh well, probably not a good fit. So I think that's kind of one of the main reasons where this kind of pay-as-you-go model for maybe try that for maybe 12 months back in the day when we started off with the boxer side class in the community center, and it was just the worst thing that I've ever done. And I will never go back to pay-as-you-go because there's no commitment. You're not committed to them. They're not committed to you. You don't know who's going to show up week to week. People have good intentions. Oh yeah, I'm going later. Minor inconvenience. Don't show up. Whereas the people who already paid in advance, they're significantly more likely to have went. And again,
they're bought in.
They're bought exactly.
They're invested.
Skin in the game. You've got skin in the game. There has to be, because if you paid in advance, it's like, right, well, if I don't go, I'm going to lose the pay. And it's like psychological. Like we're trying to get people to do something here that the majority of people don't do. Like it's a hard sell to sell exercise and fitness and health. It's a hard sell.
Intense workouts.
The majority of people are overweight and obese. Most people don't exercise regularly. So we're kind of looking for the 10% of the 10% of people who are not only interested in getting healthy and fit, but they're willing to commit to at least the vision of being the person that trains at least 3 days a week and does their best with nutrition and has goals and is moving, making reasonable progress in reasonable time, pushing forward. If they fail, that's fine, but they'll have a look at themselves and say, okay, where did I go wrong there? What could I do better next time? And it's just this kind of constant process of iteration. And we're all kind of pretty good coaches. Hopefully, I can asking the right questions and helping people kind of reframe things. And anybody who's genuinely committed or is sincere in their approach will do very, very well. And again, some will take longer than others. Yeah, exactly. I've never seen anybody who's followed the program knock out work like amazing results. Like change your life in 3 to 6 months.
Have you ever rejected someone from the program, and why? Apart from being like, oh, I only want to train 1 day a week. Apart from something like that, what would you reject someone from?
Anybody who gets on the phone, because even people are even pre-screened, let's say, before they even jump on the call. So it's like to ask them 3 questions: are you able to make your health and fitness a priority? Are you able to invest in your health and fitness? And then will you show up for this recalling? So they're kind of the 2 main questions. So are you able to invest, and are you willing to make your health and fitness a priority? And anybody who wants to make their health and fitness a priority, like because most people have the same goals. Everyone I talk to, because hopefully we're doing a good job at our marketing, that we're only attracting the right kind of person. So a lot of this kind of happens even before the call, let's say, And once they kind of come in, they already know that it's a relatively high accountability program because they've maybe hopefully watched the video on the website, or you're trying to maybe communicate that in their abs. So I would say, like, do I reject people? I'd say, maybe 1%. 1% of people say, probably not going to be a good fit. Maybe we'll give me a call back at a later point when you can make more of a commitment. Let's say, or sometimes just kind of get a vibe from people that they're just window shopping. They're not kind of really into it. But yeah, no, very few people. Yeah, very few. Because again, listen, you have to be willing to train, 3 days a week, and maybe even like we're thinking of maybe making a new membership option that maybe is 2 days a week. But that would only be for people that have got GAA training, or maybe they're in the running and they're running the roads a couple of days a week, or whatever that might be. But again, we feel like everybody should be training 3 days a week. If you're not kind of willing to do that, it's like, well, we're not on the same page in terms of health and fitness and kind of what a healthy lifestyle actually looks like. Because again, training 3 days a week I would say, would be the minimum for anybody that has modest fitness goals. Even make sense?
It does. I know exactly what you're saying. I think there are some people who have a different idea of what it takes to get fit and healthy. Like, they just have a different idea of what the standard is for a fit life, and they come to you and they'll say, like, oh, I only really want to train. I only have time to train once a week or twice a week. It's like, it's an all right starting point, but it's not. They're not going to get the value for money, and it's not a fair exchange in our eyes. And I think that gotta be a reason to be like, yeah, well, like, if it's not fair and it's not win-win for both of us, well, then there's no real point in doing this.
Exactly, and that's the whole thing. Was something that that's something that we really trying to do from the start, is like win-win, and it's also like win-win works from two angles. It's like, you have to win, but I also have to win. Everybody has to win here. It's not like oh, you're getting a great deal and I'm being a sacrificial lamb and like selling it for less than it's worth, and struggling by the kind of pay the bills, because it's hard enough to, let's say, to be in business. But without that, it's like everybody must win. Everybody must feel like it's a great deal, and that's kind of what again most of our clients say. Because why? Because they vote with their money. They've been here for on average, people have been here for 3+ years, which is, I think, an absolute testament to the work that we do, or testament to the program. And again, I'm more so, it's like, and we could still be so much better. We could still be so much better. And we're kind of working on that kind of day by day, week by week, month by month. But obviously with COVID and everything that's happened the last 2 years, opening the gym and all that kind of stuff, there's just priorities are put in your path, and you're going to have to knock these out before you can kind of get back to the let's say the deep work and trying to improve things. And then let's see, and then so just as you mentioned, time there as well. Like this is kind of one of the things that we're trying to take off the table for people, because our work are so effective and efficient, and say like the 40 minutes. It used to be 30 minutes, but as we kind of move to the new place, and we kind of added more weights, the workouts maybe a little bit more complex, require a little bit more coaching, a little more explaining, etc. We stretch it out to 40 minutes. I think that is a positive change as well. But this thing about time, like, we start at 5:30 in the morning, and the last group session is at 7 o'clock in the evening, and then we've got a boxing program at 7:50. That the boxing program is 1 hour, because that's more let's say boxing technique, etc. But the other
it's also like a course as well. Like, it's like you have to learn. Like, it's not just like going and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
Yeah,
like I'm trying to teach these people how to be dangerous. That's what I'm trying to teach. I'm trying to teach them how to be dangerous and not vulnerable, and to have some sort of confidence when it comes to exchange of blows.
Yeah, and it just can take that time off the table. There's like 9 sessions a day, from 5:30 in the morning until 7 o'clock in the evening. 4 days during the week, and then every, say, 45 minutes or 50 minutes on a Saturday from 7 a.m. So we're really trying to make it as easy as possible for people to make fitness a part of their life, because I believe it's like frequency and intensity. It's like, how hard are you training, like relative to your fitness levels, to your goals, and then how often you train. It's like frequency, got to be at least 3 days a week, and then intensity, when you show up, you got to be pushing yourself. Like, obviously as hard as you can go with good technique. Once the technique starts to fail, you should slow down a little bit. But obviously that's why, again, there's always a coach in the room. And the numbers, we're talking like average 8 to 12 people in a session. Some sessions are obviously a little bit busier, some sessions a lot quieter. Sometimes you get a session that might even be 4 or 5 people, and you get
especially on a bank holiday.
Yeah. I'd say this morning was fairly quiet. but we're still open because we've lost. Like,
Well,
listen, when you're off, we want to be open. Like we make a genuine effort to do that because it would be easy because a lot of other places close down their classes, do that kind of stuff. Like, we want to be here for our clients, because we want it to be a long-term sustainable part of their journey. And again, there's nothing wrong having a line on the bank holiday. You want to come in later, come in. But again, it's flexible.
That's
more sessions.
what I was about to say.
5-6 more sessions throughout the day. Like, you don't know, so
Usually bank holiday, the evening sessions can pick up. Like, there's usually like one session will be nearly dead, and then like the other two will be jammers.
Yeah,
and it's all and it's the morning crew coming in the evening.
Yeah, even I seen there this morning. You rarely see it. Like, I think it was Louise there looking for a 9:30 slot there this morning, 9:30 class.
Yeah.
Pretty busy. A lot of people are off work. Okay, but then so that's kind of how we start off, and then kind of what do we do? Everybody gets a one-on-one nutrition and goal setting consultation. This is like, obviously we've touched base in the first call, and then we're saying, okay, what do we actually need to do? Okay, or what's the plan going forward? Where are you today in terms of body composition, weight, body fat measurements? Where do you want to be in 3, 6, 9, 12 months? And then what do we have to do between now and then to get you there? We basically essentially reverse engineer a plan, because something I've noticed is like there really is a lot of people out there that just don't know. Like, they don't know, or that they have a lot of limiting beliefs, is that the right word, or just a lot of false information about like a lot of these old school things are still come up a lot of the time. And the biggest one I posted about in the group the other day was this thing: I'm eating the wrong foods at the wrong time. And it's like, that's not the most productive place to look. It's how much are you eating overall. Like, that's all that matters. It's like you're eating too much food, or people are convinced themselves that they're eating the wrong foods at the wrong time. I see that, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, oh, sure, this is a bit of a red flag. We're going to have to maybe undo a little bit of
how much stuff like that do you hear from like family and friends, and like, let's say, like family of friends, where you hear that stuff and you're just like, almost like biting your lip. Like, if you're asked, like, you'll give all the information like that you can, but when you just hear all the wives' tales and all the misinformation that's out there when it comes to nutrition, you're just like if a client comes to me and asks, I'll just be like, I'll just cut through it straight away. Like, one of the questions I was asked the other day was, what's the right way to eat? I was eating pretty late there the other day. Is that bad? Is that really bad? I'm like, no, it doesn't matter. Like, here's where that myth comes from. Like, when you eat in the evenings, usually you have already had a full day of eating, and this is on top of what you've been eating already. And then you're sitting there and you're being lazy, you're not doing anything, you're probably watching TV, and you're eating unconsciously, so it's easier to overconsume. And that's where that comes in. And when you just eliminate eating past 6 o'clock, that just doesn't happen at all. And it's not the fact that eating in the evening is bad, or it's just like, that's when people tend to overconsume. But people put these correlations together, and they come up with the stories, and then these stories are like proofs of the statement. I don't know how else to explain it, but like,
obviously it's not ideal. It's not ideal to eat late in the evening. Like, it's not like in terms of, as I said, for them reasons that you've said, these are the things that I feel like are underlooked. Because obviously I feel like calories in, calories out, this kind of stuff is slightly oversimplified in the sense that, like, okay, but how does the food you're eating make you feel? And it's like, well, you're probably not. It's probably not. Ideally, you want to have your last meal eaten maybe 3 hours before you go to bed, but not so because it's necessarily going to turn to fat immediately. It's more so for digestion. Movement helps and aids digestion. So you don't want to eat your dinner, sit on the couch, go to bed. You want to have a little bit of movement in there. So kind of a couple hours before bed.
It feels really nice.
Is the idea.
Just stuff in your face, big belly, fall into bed.
No, I think these are some of the things, these kind of fantasies that we have. Like, I remember, like, Domino's is the one for me that I haven't got Domino's in so long now, just because it makes me feel like shit. We used to be like, get a Domino's, delicious, garlic dip, lovely, yeah, and then I eat, and then I'm literally feeling like shit for a couple of hours. Like, even the next day, I can still feel this sludge in my system. It doesn't feel good at all.
Okay, so you are 100% right with that one, but Brandon has turned me onto something that I think will benefit everyone. I think it's healthier. I don't actually haven't checked the calories in or anything like that, because when I go for a Domino's or something like that, I am not being strict. Yeah. But if you get the Italian base pizza in Domino's, it is like nowhere near as greasy and nowhere near as stodgy as the regular one. And it's still just as tasty. Wait there. Whoa, okay. Right, it might not be just as tasty, but like, you don't feel it as crap, and the only sort of grease or stuff like that, like, I'm not sure if you're the same, but if I eat Domino's, the normal Domino's, like, I get heartburn after like 2 slices, and it's like the grease just, like, you can feel it in your bloodstream. versus with the Italian base, it's like that's gone completely. You don't have that like thick, greasy thing, and it's way nicer. And you don't wait. It depends if you overeat, because I have overeaten with it as well, and you do still feel waking up feeling kind of stodgy, but nowhere near as much as if you ate a full, greasy, doughy, regular base pizza.
Yeah, that's
Is it original crust?
I just prefer to just get a try and get just a better quality pizza somewhere else. But anyway, nothing against Domino's. I just feel it's just too fast. There's better options out there for pizza, and the other ones taste pretty good too. When less of the.
All right. Well, what other options are for pizza?
I would say Angelo's. I like Angelo's. Anywhere that does kind of any sort of like like traditional kind of stone baked pizza, kind of fresh.
Maybe Italian base pizza.
Yeah, but I'm not sure this. I'm not sure.
No, what are you joking?
I'm not sure to what degree that's like is that homemade. Like for all these franchises, everything is built for efficiency, and it's it's shipped to last. This is the kind of stuff.
That's not true, Steve. That's not. You're a conspiracy theorist. They all have our best interests. Like they all want us healthy.
For a freshly baked dough. No, but even if you look at the stuff like the food pyramid and stuff like that, and I think that they reviewed it recently. Maybe that can be a good topic for another podcast. Like the things that they're encouraging people to base the majority of their diet on, it's just not good quality foods. It's just not good quality whole foods.
The reason they did it,
the demonization of say like red meat and stuff like that, like beef, good quality beef is like one of the best, most nutritious things.
No, it really is. It really is, and it's hilarious how the whole thing where it sits in your stomach for like 4 days or something like that. Like,
yeah.
But I think the reason behind that when it was coming out was because like food wasn't as abundant as it is now, and we didn't have all the supplies and all that sort of crack. But it was very easy to produce grains. And it was very easy to farm them and very easy to store them, and they'd last for a while. And that was an easy system to do. So it was like, all right, everyone, we're all going to eat grains. I think they did something similar with milk. I think there was a big advertising campaign in America, whatever. It was the whole like got milk thing, to try and get everyone to drink way more milk. Now, I don't think that was done for our health, but I think it was made seem like it was through marketing. And if you want to understand the effects of marketing and how it can influence society as a whole, just look at smoking. They literally had doctors like smoking cigarettes, being like, "This is the best," like with no shame whatsoever. Now you can say they didn't know whatever it was, which is kind of fair, but like there's loads of stuff that they're
like doctors
they don't care.
Doctors endorsing cigarettes.
For real, a breath of fresh air.
It's insane. A breath is that what it was? A breath of fresh
air. Yeah.
But and even more so on the as a little bit of a side tangent, like. With health today, like that's the thing that really frustrates me is that like we feel like it's the arrogance that we've reached the pinnacle of health, or the pinnacle of science, or in any way, shape, or form, the pinnacle of anything. When you look at the data, that people are fatter and sicker and more depressed than ever before, but we have the goal to say that we have it all figured out and that the experts should not be questioned. It's like, well, show me your results. Like what you're doing, what you're pushing is not working. People aren't getting healthier. People are getting sicker and sicker and sicker. Like it's not like you're not getting to the root of the problem. And then it's like I just feel like just my frame is always when we look back in 50 years, I work off the assumption that in 2020 odd in 2070 we're going to look back and then we're going to be laughing at things the same way we look back and laugh at the fact that doctors endorsed cigarettes. There's going to be so many things like that. That we just didn't know because we don't have the information, or the information is suppressed, or we don't have the tools, or the body of knowledge to kind of make these like, let's say, conclusive statements. And people like really need to pay attention to like where the money is going. Like you really have to follow the money. 70% of the media in America is funded by Big Pharma. Like that is a big problem. These people are like, first off, they're criminals. They're legitimate criminals that they have been in court. They've got the largest fines for fraud and false marketing of their products. They kind of do these calculations and say, okay, well, if 1,000 people are harmed, but we make so much profit that we can, we can afford to pay the fine, payout. Over the long term, it's still more profitable. It's like, are you insane? It's like, and then like the fact of the last couple of years that we just like, that we just bow down all the experts and stuff. Like, oh my God, I can't believe that we blindly trust these people and assume that when there's so much money at stake that they're not going to bend the rules in their favor. And again, it's not that there's necessarily bad individuals. It's not that individuals, it's the conglomerate, it's the corporation, it's the profit-driven machine. It's like we need, there needs to be a much more decentralized approach to health and fitness, and that's hopefully what we're trying to do is like with a micro gym, a small community-based gym. We want 2 or 3 of these in every community all around the country and in every country all over the world, and this is kind of what helps people. Exercise
and teaching people how to be fit, healthy.
Exercise is much more powerful for treating depression than antidepressants. Like that, like there's bodies of data that show this. Like exercise is the most underutilized antidepressant tool that there is. And we've seen it with our own eyes. But it's like, who funds all the people? Like, oh, show me the research. Who funds like 70-80% of the research? If there's no money, like these things are very, very expensive to run. So if there's not on the back end going to be some sort of kickback, or if it's not maybe government funded, which is a minority of the research, versus pharma funded, which is the majority of the research, it's like it's just like a cat chasing its tail. Like we're not really going to get anywhere. We're always going to be slowly but surely moving in this kind of direction, and it's just disempowering for people. It's like, who's empowering people to take control of their health versus who's disempowering people? Who's telling people, take this pill, take this jab, this is going to solve all your health problems, versus who's saying, like, actually, here's what you need to eat, here's how you need to move, here's how you should sleep. All these things that you don't necessarily need to pay for, that you can do yourself with your own body, and maybe some basic resources for food, etc. That you can really take control of your health. And that's what the body of knowledge shows. People who are healthy and fit get sick a lot less than people who are not. And like that's where we should be focusing on. Is like, you can't outsource that. You can't outsource it. You can't out supplement it. You can't out pill it, out jab it. You can't do any of that. Like you have to do the things. But again, that's my side tangent on that. I'm not sure where that started from, but I felt like
it started off with nutrition, quality of nutrition, and the myths that people believe, and then how do we tangent into how people are misled through advertising to think certain things.
It's an advertising and marketing. Honestly, like this is like
well, you know how it works.
People need to understand influencer marketing. I think people need to understand influencer marketing, and but we think of influencers as the girls in the bikinis on Instagram selling booty, but no, it's the guy sitting behind the news desk. He's an influencer. He's a much bigger influencer than your one down the road.
But like they put glasses on. They will literally put glasses on to look like more.
That's what I'm saying. It's insane. It's like the thing is, it's like you got to follow when it comes to health and fitness. You got to follow the money, but also look at the data. It's like people are not. It's not working. It's not working. It has.
All right, wait there, Steve.
It's getting. Not even that. It's getting worse. It's getting worse. That's the kind of thing. But we're spending more and more money. They're making more and more money. It's not the solution. We need to get to the root of this, and that's kind of hopefully what we're trying to do through our business.
We've got 6 more steps to go through, and we've got 13 minutes to do it. Yeah,
I hope everybody enjoyed the tangent. If anybody's on the same wavelength or interested in this kind of stuff, do leave a comment or send me a message, because I am looking for more like-minded people. Because
if you can tell, he's very passionate about it.
Sometimes I feel insane because I'm just like, it just seems so obvious. But anyway,
but it's one of those things people don't like to
follow the money.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like no one really wants to address it. No one really wants to. It's like, we got better things to be thinking about. Like ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss. I
really want to take on the problem because it's a massive. No, it's like it's just an abdication of personal responsibility. That's kind of what, and even like that's what everything. It's just an abdication of personal responsibility. It's like just trying to outsource and thinking that when shit happens, you go down to the doctor and he's going to fix it. It's like he can't fix it. It's like you needed to be working on yourself the entire time. That's the truth. You can't leave it till the last minute. These things don't.
Well, wait there. It depends. Wait there. So like I think.
Oh yeah, no, it's not apologies. Yeah, because there's a big difference between let's say like a medical intervention, like a surgery, etc. versus
and advanced medicine are insane. Like I think we can't understate how good it is to live in a world where we have access to doctors and surgeons, and there is like absolutely great benefits to the system. It's just there's also a lot of flaws to it as well. I think it's really important to acknowledge the fact that doctors do save lives. They are really smart people that do help a lot of them, but they're also incredibly overworked and stressed.
I'm not criticizing doctors at all. I'll be kind of more so just leaning my criticism towards big pharma and the track record that they have means that they should not be blindly trusted, and that people like people know this, like they're into disease management, not disease elimination.
Prevention.
Or disease exactly, and that's I'm kind of disease prevention. That's kind of my where I feel like we need the bulk of our effort and energy and resources should be going, because a long term it will pay off. Much greater.
A fit, strong, healthy population is a lot more difficult to get sick. But off that tangent,
I seen a study. About the people, if you can, like, I can't remember the exact details, but if you can run like say like a 5K or a 10K in like say like a top 20% time, it's like it would be extremely rare for you to have any sort of cardiovascular disease. Like you'd be like 1 in a million for you to have any sort of cardiovascular disease if you're fit enough that you can run like a fast 5K or a fast 10K. And
have you not seen all the footballers dropping dead?
Yeah, that's another topic. But anyway, back on track, because again we just make so many assumptions, and we know what's going on, but the problem is we're not willing to criticize these people. This is the problem. We're not willing to ask the obvious question, not willing to criticize, because we put them on a pedestal. These are the saviors, and that's just kind of the way it is. When no, only you can save yourself. Anyway, but again, we start off. We do no so the topic of the podcast originally is how we have more time to achieve their fitness goals, and why people stay around. Because again, we've done that poll and people have been with us for a long time. And what I would say in a nutshell is, because we offer a much more personalized service than what you're going to get at any other gym, but you also get the benefits of the flexibility, affordability, and the community. This is people like having the crack. People love training in groups. I love training in groups. I think it's much more better. You're much more motivated. People just don't like. The people that we serve the best are people that don't like going into the gym and just going through a program themselves, because they don't push themselves as hard as they should. They're not really sure if they're doing it right, and they get bored. They're not really sure what to do. People just like to show up. The coach tells them what to do. They're doing it. They get a high five, we fist pump. Everybody's having the crack. Everyone's having a bit of a laugh. We're all suffering together, and it's good cracking. And in the back end, you need help with your nutrition. You got a personalized meal plan. Someone's going to check in with you every week. You need to speak with a coach. You can jump on a call like this 2 times per week. There's a Facebook group where you can ask questions. There's good quality information going in there several times per week. We're just really trying to just take everything off the table. So if you are genuinely sincere in your efforts to trying to improve your health and fitness, and you sign up with us, you will get great results if you do what we say, or you'll get your money back. And again, it doesn't happen, because again, it's very, very simple. It's very, very simple. You got to live an active lifestyle. You got to try and get 10,000, 15,000 steps a day, depending on what your goals are, depending on what your circumstances are. You got to try and get.
If you get more is better. Like more steps, if you want to lose weight faster, the more you move.
It's the best way to accelerate your results, because obviously it's there's only so low you can go with the calories. Like realistically, depending, like you don't really go lower than 12, 14, 1600 calories. That range on how big the person is in terms of kind of height, muscle mass, that kind of stuff, their body fat percentage. So you don't even want to go so low. But people have got really low steps, and I've kind of experienced this myself from over the last little while. From as my role has changed, when I say personal training, leading group sessions. If I'm taking a group, like I was covering your shifts there the other week, like I get 20,000 steps easy, no problem. But then a day like today, where I'm going to be on the computer most of the day, I'll have what I have. I only have like 1,500 steps, and it's like I'm going to have to go for a walk or a jog or something later to break 10,000. And a good walk, I could get out from 45 minutes to an hour. And maybe
which is like with it, which is if you have a coat, like if it's cold and you have a coat and like you're not worried about the elements or anything like that, you have headphones or whatever, it's a really enjoyable experience. And I think people think like going out for a walk is like a big chore, and it is if you're really uncomfortable. But if you have the time, you're not stressed out about it, you're not rushing or like that. It's a really, really enjoyable experience. Going for a walk is pleasant. It's not, and it's pleasant, and you get lean. Like you're burning all these calories doing it. You could probably learn something. You can be entertained while you're doing it.
Yeah, but also you sort out a lot of your anxiety. I feel like you just kind of think about comes up, and you're just kind of coming up with solutions and what you're going to do about it. Because this is, I feel like anxious people have got the most, like they've got too many open loops. There's too many open loops in their mind. Too many things that they haven't kind of solved. And when you kind of get a walk, when you get into that rhythm, you're like, okay, this one I'm going to do this one I'm going to do, and then you can start closing off these loops, and then you've got less stuff to that keeps your mind busy, because your mind's like, oh, what about this problem over here? Oh, what about this one over here? Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, and then you just kind of start checking them off when you take that time to be there.
It also puts you. It's also in a way hypnotic, and what I mean by that is that like it will literally alter your state. So it will absolutely alter your state. So it's like, oh, Joe, go for a walk, have we think about it, whatever. That phrase, all right. And there's something. It was a TikTok I seen that explained this. Where see if it's the left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. So see if someone who's really, really anxious, all right, you can go for a walk and you have the same thing where your nervous system is being put through a rhythm of left, right, left, right. But if you put your arms like this here, you cross your shoulders like this, close your eyes, lay back, and just go left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Do that for, let's say, 15, 20 times. Like, you'll be way more relaxed than when you started. And like, if you do it, like, you can feel it. It's like being like, like rock to sleep, like in a cradle or something. It's the same when you go for a walk. If you're power walking, maybe it's a little bit less relaxing. But if you're just walking, just that, it's really good for your nervous system and for calming everything down.
Yeah. I'm just introducing these practices into our life as much as possible. You don't have to be perfect, but over time. And again, this is kind of something. It's like joining a community, joining a group of people where that's the standard, where there's an expectation that everyone has to be kind of getting 10,000 steps a day at least. That's kind of what that's kind of the culture of the community. Let's say, like, we're here to live an active lifestyle, and we, it's like, oh, why didn't you train 3 days this week? Whereas other people, oh my God, you train 3 days this week, like that would be amazing. Whereas over here, it's like, oh yeah, of course, obviously you train 3 days a week. Why wouldn't you? You're part of Fight and Fit. You're supposed to train 3 days a week, and then but you trained 5, or you done this extra 10K, or you done this, ran across the mountains, or you done this cool thing. Then you kind of get props for that for being, let's say, for above average. Let's say, but also I can really just kind of finish on this point maybe about kind of why people stay around, because obviously we said we've got a good program. We kind of talk about the details. It's personal training on a budget as far as I'm concerned. But then after that, it really comes down to a genuine effort to know every individual as best we can in let's say in the limited time that we have, but just to genuinely give a shit. Like I would hope people who listen to the podcast and listen to us kind of ramble on, because it's very hard to be fake or, let's say, inauthentic when you're kind of doing long form content like this. Like, we genuinely give a shit. Like, we genuinely care about our clients. I feel like that's why they want to, because they understand that. Like, we're genuinely concerned. We genuinely want to help people to the best of our ability. And hopefully we come across as a little bit, humble. That, like, we don't kind of feel like we have it all figured out. There's a lot of simple things that we need to be doing. We need to do them consistently, because that's science. That's not necessarily, let's say, our opinions. But we're just good coaches, and we're good coaches because we give a shit. That was kind of always the kind of the mantra we started out with, was people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Like, we're genuinely invested, and when you fail, when you win, we win with you, and when you fail, we fail with you, because we feel like, oh fuck, like there's many times like you'd wake up in the morning, you're thinking about that client or something that happened, and then you're like, oh fuck, I wish I had got that done, or fuck that, or what can I do to help them better, blah 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 blah. Or when somebody like, oh my God, did you hear Chris? Did you hear about Mary? She done that amazing thing there yesterday. Like, oh my God, I know, it's class, isn't it? Boom, or we put it in our wins channel on our Slack or whatever.
Well, one of the things that's genuinely, like, not heartbreaking, but like, it's like a gut punch. If you set a goal with a client, they've been training with it for a while, they're ready, like, they're ready for it, and then they just like barely fall short, and you're like with them in front of it, and you're like, let's go. And you just sit there in the disappointment. It's that's sad.
Yeah, but again,
we do feel with you.
Yeah, but then you're the thing will be then reframe immediately. What's the positive? What's the silver line of this situation? We're so close. Reframe. Whereas like people are like, people would quit. Like our job as well is just reframing things for people, helping them see, because as individuals, we're always caught up in our own emotions. We can't always see the bigger picture, and especially them both moments, like moments of failure, but also moments of massive success. We kind of get carried away with massive success, and we get too depressed with failure. So it's kind of just having an objective person that can see the big picture, because you're maybe caught up in your emotions, that can help you reframe things, help you look at the bigger picture. And then it's like, okay, well, like, we're this close. It's like, do A, B, and C, and then let's do it again in 2 weeks, and let's get it then. But yeah, that's kind of pretty much it. I would love to know if any members are listening, which I hope they are, because we do get a decent amount of viewership, not crazy amounts, but as we kind of talk about, we were discussing yesterday on our chat, Chris, it was like this kind of concept of 1,000 true fans. Like, we're not trying to be famous. I would really not like to be famous. I prefer not to be famous. But what we want to do is we want to connect deeply with 1,000 people.
Yeah, actually, on that note, if there is anything that any of you guys want us to talk about, or anything that you want us to cover, or you want to hear our perspective from, or to address, or anything like that, let us know, and we would love to talk about it. We're always looking for new ideas and new concepts to talk about, rather than just going on about the same stuff. I think also it's important that we go over exactly what the client journey is now, and why we think to say it, because for this journey, because we have 1 minute left and we went a serious amount of tangents. So we've got the no sweat intro and the coaching call. That's basically to establish if we are a good fit and to see if this will be a positive, beneficial relationship for both of us. We're not here to just help you for nothing, and we don't want to just take your money. We want to make an actual difference in your life. And then they get a wee welcome video to say, hey, I'm going to be your coach, blah, blah, blah. I'll be working with you. I'll be your main point of contact for your membership. And then basically, here's the stuff that's missing from your profile. Make sure you fill that in. And this will help us help you. And then you get your one-on-one nutrition and goal setting consultation. This will give you clarity and focus and help you set the sails so you can actually go in the direction that you want to go with confidence that you can make it if you take the steps. And that's really motivating, and that's important. Then we also put you into the foundations program. So this it's set your sails, but we all usually the nutrition consultation is done during the foundations, and this helps us find where you're at, basically where you're at right now in terms of physical movement and performance. And it's also an educational point, so we can teach you some of the basic movements that you will need for the sessions, because it's not just one of these classes where you can just go in and know nothing. You do need to understand where you're at and how to do the basic movements. And then once you pass that, you'll know your level, and then you'll move into the group sessions. Once you're doing the group sessions, they'll all be personalized and tailored to your level and your ability. There'll be no movements that you can't do because you'll have done the foundations program, and it's tailored. All the yellows are doing a specific set, all the oranges are doing a specific set, all the blues, and there's nothing in the yellows if you're a yellow that you can't do. And that's really important as well. Then we also have a weekly check-in, so the coach will be touching base with you weekly to be like, how's everything going? And if you're ignoring them, being like, I'm not doing it. If you're ignoring them and not getting back to them, well, then you're not making the most of your membership. But if you are in touch, well, then the coach knows what you're struggling with, and will try and help navigate you to get the best results possible. And then after that, you've also got your 30-day goal review, which is all right, we've tried this for the last 30 days. You've made this amount of progress. You've stepped back in this area. You've made progress in this area. Why did we fall down here? It's just something silly. I just went out, blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay, no problem. If we keep that to a minimum over the next few while, you're going to get to where you want to go. Cool. Or it'll be oh, you just made this silly mistake. If you add this in here and you take this away here, you'll get to where you want to go. And they're like, oh, okay. And then after that, they're basically putting away for another 30 days, and they get their outcome. They'll get probably their fighting fit mug for losing their first stone. And then after that, they'll have a 90-day goal review, which is basically all right, so you've hit your first goal. What do you want to do next? Do you want to try and build a little bit of muscle now? Do you want to try and get your next band? Do you want to try and level up in terms of your deadlift, squat, bench, pull-ups, whatever it is? And then you have the confidence of already achieved the goal at the start, so you're a little bit more open to being oh, maybe I can be athletic, maybe I can do all these cool stuff that I do see on Instagram and all that sort of stuff as well. So that is the ideal client journey for us. And if anyone wants to go through that journey, get in touch with Steve, book his coaching call, and have your wee no sweat intro, and we can see if we can help.
Yeah, go to www.fightingfitnation.com. Remember, guys, this is a self-sponsored podcast, so we do appreciate shares, comments, all that stuff. But more importantly, anyone listening to this that is a member, I would actually really love to know why did you stay so long? Why are you a member? Whether you're only here a couple of weeks, couple of months, couple of years, why do you stay? Because obviously maybe we've got it wrong. Because again, we might be focusing on the wrong things. Maybe we could focus a little bit better on the things that you actually see value in. Or so that we can have some interest in, and also we can have these conversations with clients quite regularly. Again, it's the person touching the community, or the things that kind of come up again and again. But if there's something different for you, please do let us know about it. I would be genuinely curious about that. With all that said, guys, thank you again more so for giving us your time this week. If you've been listening, taking the last hour or so to kind of listen to us on our podcast, we really do appreciate it. We do want comments, we do want likes, we do want shares. So please do all that stuff too. But more so, we want your questions. We want to make sure that we're talking about things that are going to help you. We're helping you solve your problems. Because again, maybe there's something that we've seen 100 times that might seem like a big deal to you. We can, give you some tools, resources, some information that might help you overcome that obstacle. Okay, so guys, with that said, thank you very much for listening, and we will see you next week.